Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. So this is a continuation in our Colorado Springs mini podcast blitz. We're going to be doing a deal analysis on a Fourplex that was just active on the MLS a couple days ago. Jenny will walk us through all the details on here. So before we jump into today's deal analysis, Jenny and I were talking before we hit record on the podcast today that she's going to start doing a couple of deal analyses a week just from properties that she's finding. And then we're going to start a email distribution list. That way she can email them out with numbers, commentary, why she likes an investment. And it's really just a way to help for myself and other people out there get to know the Springs market. So if you want that right now, we don't have the details figured out, just shoot me an email, Chris at Denver Investment Real Estate. And once we get that figured out here next couple of days, I will get you plugged in that email list, and then Jenny can start emailing you out there. Or if you check the show notes, instructions may be in there, but your best bet's just to email me, and then I will email you to Jenny and get you plugged into that email list so you can start getting some deal analyses from Jenny. And this is just a great way to learn the market and see what Colorado Springs is up to. So Jenny, it's good to have you back on the episode.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I know, let's talk about this property here. I know it's a multifamily that you found in the MLS, like a few days ago before we recorded this?
Yeah, about a week ago.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So where do you want to start in this? Because I know, we're doing these to educate me, the listeners, and you're also out there actively looking to buy a Fourplex yourself, right?
That's correct.
So you did tell me this one under contract. Are you under contract?
No.
No. Okay.
I wish,
else
yeah.
is? Okay.
Someone else is.
So just walk us through this.
Sure. So like you mentioned, I found it on the MLS about a week ago. Went up on a Friday, and I think it went down on a Sunday.
So standard.
Very quick.
If they marketed and listed it right and priced it right, goes up and goes down a few days later?
Exactly. I think they did a great job on the listing for this. Like you mentioned, priced really accurately and enough information in the listing that I'm sure someone was able to make a really quick decision on this.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you think it probably went above list price?
My hunch is yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it went that quickly. It probably did.
Yeah.
So walk us through the details on it. All I know is it's a Fourplex.
Sure. So this is a Fourplex. It has two 2-bed, 1-bath units and 2 3-bed, 1-bath units. And it's located on the west side, which... and
when you say west side, is that just west of 25?
It's west of 25. It's kind of north of Old Colorado City, which is typically a very desirable part of town for people to look for rentals. It's very close to Garden of the Gods, quick trip over to Pikes Peak. So there's a lot of natural beauty on that side that people are attracted to. And then, of course, there's like downtown shops and all that good stuff that tenants like to be in proximity to. So
and what's I know you got two 1s and 2 3-1s. Mm-hmm. Are these up down? Are these townhouse styles? What's the layout of the building?
It's 2 on top, 2 on the bottom.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the the exterior construction quality? Are they brick? Are they shingles? Because now in Denver, we a lot of our stuff is brick duplexes and fourplexes. Is there a common building material they use for down there in the Springs?
So I actually have not observed a lot of brick down there. Typically it's 70s, 80s built when you're looking at the multiplexes, and they usually have some type of siding material.
Like vinyl siding? Or
not vinyl because of hail, but either the fiberboard or sometimes stucco is typically what you see.
Really? You see a lot of stucco down there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And so you, on your notes here, you got listed at, or it's listed at 620.
Mm-hmm.
So, 624 Fourplex. And what were the current rents on the place? Or what made it attractive to you from the high level?
So the location, of course, was very interesting to me because tenants just love this area. So that in and of itself is great. And then the person who had owned it before had really good rents in place already. They had 3 of the 4 units were occupied. The 3-bedroom units were both renting for $1,580, and the 2-bedroom unit was renting for $995.
Okay.
And then the 4th unit was vacant. So I think that you could easily get the $995. I would probably list it for $1,100.
Oh, so there's some bump in rents there?
Yeah.
Even for the 3 bedrooms?
No, I think the 3 bedrooms are...
So those are at market right now,
yes.
you'd say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I was really impressed with the rents that they already had in place. And then I had actually reached out to the listing agent. I was just curious to see what the owner was paying in utilities, and he had mentioned it was about $400 a month.
Okay.
So,
and so for this property, what's the utility setup? Is it all single meters? Is it one master meter?
So the electric is on individual meters, and all of the other items are on a master.
Okay.
So, and we have to pay for trash in Colorado Springs. I know in Denver, that's included in your taxes.
Yeah, in Denver, not the other counties around.
Okay.
So it's just Denver County where that is.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's individual electric.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just one master meter.
That's correct.
Is that pretty common what you see in multis down there?
Sometimes you see gas also individually metered, but not always. Usually you never see water or sewer.
Yeah. I can't name any property I've ever seen like water and sewer separate. It's just, that's just too expensive.
Yeah.
I think we see quite a few properties that are about, individual gas as well. Okay, so pretty standard stuff there. And I know we'll have the underwriting in here as well. So you have, and these are just screenshots of, we're using Joe Massey's spreadsheet on here that like we normally do for the Denver deal analyses. So we'll walk through the numbers. If you guys want to see them, check the show notes for the blog post, and we will have them up here as well. So Fourplex, 25% down, a $620,000 purchase price. You have in there for $15,000 acquisition cost.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty normal down there, or are you including like some point buy down there?
Yeah, so a mixture of additional loan costs, and then of course your due diligence costs as well.
Yeah.
I'm budgeting for about $15,000 for a fourplex on average.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's like the inspections and appraisals and stuff cost down there? I assume it's probably similar to Denver, but assumptions.
Yeah, it's the same. I think for appraisals it could be between $750 and up.
Yeah, I think we normally pay about $800 for fourplex on appraisals. Yeah.
And then inspection. Depends on how many items you want inspected, but it could be $500 and up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, after your Corona burr yesterday, you do sewer scopes, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So standard stuff, $620,000, 25% down. So it's supposed to be a 30-year conventional loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have $5,000 initial repair cost.
Mm-hmm.
Are there obvious things that you would repair, or is that just kind of like, hey, a couple rent-ready costs you're putting there for just as good budgeting?
Just good budgeting. When I looked at the pictures, full disclosure, I did not tour the property.
Okay.
When I looked at the pictures, all the units looked to be in fantastic condition. So the $5,000 is just there as an oops.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So for all in, it'll be about $176,000 for the down payment, acquisition cost, and repair cost. And you've got a 4% interest rate here for the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And actually might be slightly lower, but I think 4% is very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got a 3.5% refund of Fourplex right now, so I think you'd be a little bit south of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the rents here, you plugged in what you said, $1,580 for the 3 bedrooms,
mm-hmm.
and then $995 for the 2 bedrooms.
Yep.
And so actually you said you might be able to bump the $995s up to, you said $1,100?
About $1,100 is
Okay.
what I would shoot for.
Okay. And so you just kind of are doing, I'll say, the realistic conservative numbers here?
Correct.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Standard stuff here, you got 3% vacancy, 25% effective tax rate. You got 10% for property management, 8% for repairs and reserves. Taxes $1,800, insurance $1,800, and the water, sewer, I guess that's all utilities for $4,800 right there.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's the $400 a month prorated out for the year.
Okay, and that's what you said the listing agent?
Correct.
Here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds reasonable. Oh, do you know for those rents, are they paying like any type of utility bill back on
They
there?
are not.
I don't know the Colorado Springs market, but one of the things we do in Denver a lot for multis, especially like fourplexes and up, is we implement RUBS or utility bill back.
Mm-hmm.
We don't implement like true utility bill back, but hey, it's a flat fee of $25 a month for gas, $25 a month for trash, $25 a month for gas, things like that. And we get, tenants are usually more than happy to pay for it because they realize, hey, that's an additional cost. Do you think there's upside for adding on $50 or $75 a month on utility bill block on top of those rents?
I think that you could do a portion of it. The 3 bedrooms for the $1,580, That's very strong rent, even for the location. So I'm not sure how that would work out, but
Okay.
I would try to gradually introduce that.
Or maybe on the next lease turnaround, start
Yeah.
adding a few bucks in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And then for landscaping, you got $500 a year. What was do you know what the exterior was like?
It was all xeriscaped, so
nice.
I just kind of assume, picking up weeds every once in a while, trash pickup if it blew into the yard, and then of course snow removal is important. So.
And then do you know what it costs, generally speaking, for down there for snow removal?
I've actually never had to purchase that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a parking lot on here, or is it more just street parking and like sidewalks?
There is a parking lot.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it'll be a little bit more for snow removal. But, $500 a year for landscaping, $500 a year for snow removal. Sounds about the same numbers we use up here. Okay, walk us through the results here. Like, give us the cap rate and the numbers and all this stuff.
Sure. So using the amount of cash that Chris had mentioned a couple slides ago, we're looking at a cash-on-cash rate of return of 7.2%. So that's being calculated based on the annual cash flow of about $12,700 per year, which is conservatively underwritten, which I would be very happy with, I think, especially for not having to do any work to the property.
So 7.2 cash on cash and a 6.3 cap rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good number up here. Is that a really good number in the Springs?
For not having to do anything, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Can you keep an eye on what it closes for? I'd be curious actually what it closes for. And
sure, yeah.
The
Oh,
more
definitely.
it closes for, it's going to drive down those numbers, but that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Great. So you're budgeting at about $1,000 a month in cash flow, and probably a little bit more since we've got conservative underwriting and maybe a little bit of room to raise the rents and maybe start doing some build back here as leases turn.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, pretty simple. Hey, cool, buy it, park your money, management, and just increase rents every year.
Absolutely.
Type play.
Mm-hmm.
I like those plays. So how come we didn't buy this one?
It's a long story.
Okay. So what are your final thoughts on here for just as far as like conclusions and wrapping this up?
I think, honestly, this is something that I would really recommend to someone who's in the financial position to purchase it. This is a great property. Very straightforward. There's not a lot going on in terms of having to, rehabilitate it in any way. It seems to have been managed very effectively, so it should be a seamless transition to the new owner. I just think it's a really great, easy deal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Really random question here for you because I was just looking at the return on investment quadrant we have on here, and one's the depreciation. So a lot of times in Denver we often use like just assume an 80% part of the purchase price will be the structure, which you can depreciate. What type of land to structure ratio do you see in the Springs?
So it hovers between 17 and 18% is what I've personally noticed.
For the land?
For the land.
Okay.
Yes. So it's pretty similar to Denver.
Close enough for our high-level math. I mean, if you're 3% off, that's good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And then your accountant figures out the rest. Awesome. All right, Jenny. Well, this is great. So I thank you.
Thank you.
And as a reminder, guys, if you want to be on this new email list that will be launching when these podcasts go live here, just shoot me an email right now, Chris at Denver Investment Real Estate, and I will get you hooked up on those. And then Jenny's going to start just doing a few emails a week on multis, single-family rentals, and some house hacks for promising properties. And this really just meant, hey, here's what's going on. Here's to get to know the market and get a feel and a flavor for the Springs. So thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.